Hello, and welcome to my show, The Thriving Woman. I am your host, Carmel Austin. Hello, this is Carmel Austin here. I'm so excited that we have another show of The Thriving Woman. Today, I'm interviewing my beautiful friend, Hana. Hana is one of the co authors in our recently released book, The Artist Haven. We went number one on Amazon in 4 categories, and we stayed in one category for about 14 days at number one. So it's just been so exciting. And, that's what I love. I love about my show, The Thriving Woman. I love to highlight all of my authors. Some of them are first time international authors or even written anything. I think that's the case with Hannah. So, hello, Hannah, and welcome to my show.
Hello. I'm so excited. I am here. Thank you so much for the invitation for this interview, Carmel. I feel so privileged. It's such an honor for me to be here. And, just to be part of your crew, I would say. It was something fantastic because actually one of my life dreams came true. And it's the book. It's a lovely book where I can have my own story, my story of transformation and of joy and freedom, where I was led to freedom through the pains in my life. So I'm so happy to be here and to be talking about that book, and not only about that book. Thank you.
And that book, folks, is called The Artist Haven, and that is now on Amazon for you to order. And for our Australian authors, we have it on another link as well. Um, Ingram Spark, I think that is, and that's going out into bookstores all over the world. And we even have our ebook as well on Lulu and on Amazon. But you know what, folks? I want all of my authors as well to have our books in our hand, which will be happening very shortly. And by the time this comes out, we'll have had our books in our hand. And actually, Hannah would be doing a talk about our book. So, Hannah, would you like to share with our audience about that talk that you are going to be sharing and what that means to you with your story in the book?
I love any invitation for a journey, either a physical one in nature or a very deep inner transformational one. And this one actually speaks about both somehow, because I was invited for a very special time of a retreat in silence. And actually, I took this opportunity for the second time in my life already. For the first time, it was years ago in Britain, and this time it was in Ireland. And actually there unleashed the story. And just as I felt it, a very clear invitation full of joy from the Lord to share this powerful story of the inner journey, of the transformation that happened in me at the well. And this is the title of the chapter. Actually, I call it at the well, a life-changing encounter at the well. And I just slipped into the shoes of a Samaritan woman, and I encountered Jesus, who changed the very, very deep layers of my life at both psychological and spiritual levels.
Thank you, Hannah. And that's what it's all about. It's about self discovery, transformation. It's about, using our art to overcome obstacles. It's about us being our unique selves and being okay that God created us all uniquely to share our individual skills and our personalities and to be able, put our stamp on things. I know when it was back in summer that I had the interview with Hannah. Hubby and I'd been at the beach and I came in and my phone went beep, 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 beep. You have a, you have an interview coming up. And I'd totally forgotten about it. It'd been a hot summer's day. I jumped in the shower because I was full of sand and washed my hair and come online. And I'm like, hi, Hannah. And, we chatted and we just talked about her journey. And Hannah, do you want to share with the audience about your what you've seen about Amazon and what really drew you to wanting to share your story with our book?
This is part of my amazing journey because on one day when I was reading the scripture about Jesus' encounter as well, and I was praying in the shoes of the Samaritan woman. I was in the art studio there in Dublin, in Ireland, and I felt that something very, very important was going to unleash within me. And actually, I was invited innerly to take a started paper and no brush, but just my fingers, and to start painting the well and the encounter. And I felt throughout my body, in every cell of my body, literally, a big, like very profound, beautiful transformation starting to happen. And I looked out of the window of the art studio and imagine what? There just arrived an Amazon car with a delivery to the spiritual center. And I knew that was fascinating. I knew that I was starting to collaborate with God's transformational power through the art, through that piece of art that I was starting creating on the paper, and that would be to be shared on Amazon, that I should write a story, actually a testimony that was just starting to unleash on Amazon. And, it took just a year and it's out on Amazon. So
Just
praise the Lord. It's something
wow, that's
fantastic.
amazing. Your story, that's right. It's up there on Amazon, folks. You can go on and find our book, The Artist Haven. And there's 14 of us, 14 authors from around the world where I called the book Carmel Austin and Friends because these are my friends. There's 6 of us who did our coaching course through Kingdom Builders Academy, and Hannah is one of them. Hannah too lives on the other side of the globe. Hannah, want to share with everyone where you live?
I live in Europe. Actually, I live in the very heart of Europe, near Prague, because Prague is quite often called the center of Europe, because, well, not just geographically, well, you can count it like this or like that geographically, so it's about the center as well, but especially because of its beauty, of its special charm, of, the rich architecture of the styles, and yeah, it's so popular, no wonder. So I love my country, and I always say my country, the Czech Republic. And yes, it is something I call my home because I have my roots here, my family, and I am living here currently as well.
Folks, Hannah cares for both her parents and she does such an amazing job with that. She has such a heart to do that with them. And I know too, one of the gifts that, she offered was her beautiful workbook for people buying our book when we did our launch. And if you're watching this and you've got that workbook, how blessed are you? Hannah is such a how can I say it? She's a woman who has studied hard, and she's put all her heart and soul into everything that she's done. She's actually a wholeness coach like me, but she has diplomas in art and so many things that she has done in her life. And she's such a humble lady. And her heart, I see, all the people she posts, all of different things that she does. I love the way that she really knows how to keep her self care and do all those things and be really disciplined about them as well. But what that really blessed me too was Hannah and I did some extra coaching. Hannah took up my gold package with me, and we did some extra coaching because English is not her first language. And, I was so proud of her. We spent time talking and going through her chapter, and then beautiful Stephanie, one of the other co-authors who's an editor as well, she went through it as well and helped Hannah. And Hannah has always just been so gracious. She asked me, can she change this? Can she do that? She was always gracious towards me. She always came with enthusiasm. I often reached out to Hannah and shared things with her about the process of the book, and she would send me encouraging messages and scriptures and just encouraged me to keep going because we had a lot of hurdles that we had to overcome, didn't we, Hannah? And now that we're doing this interview, it will come out a little bit later in a couple of months. And by then, we'll all have our books in our hands and we'll be doing our author launches, our parties as well. We had an amazing party as well online. And, Hannah, I think 700 people with the both parties have had a little look at that online. So I feel so incredibly blessed that, that the word is getting out there, and there's so much goodness in our book. There's so much encouragement, even with Samantha. She's a beautiful blind lady who, she uses her hands and she creates, and she has such amazing story. And each person has a unique story to share and tell. So, Hannah, can you share with my audience a little bit about that journey and how you found, I know that you responded to a video that I did on social media, and we'd become friends with KBA. And tell me, share with our audience, my audience, how that process was, and what, the joy and some of the things that you found that you had to overcome as well.
I have already mentioned the word journey because the journey is powerful in our lives. Everybody understands, everybody can get tuned to the word journey because the life is a journey itself. And this with you, Carmel, Coach Carmel, this journey with you during all the months that we have been in the same boat. Well, they have been just fantastic. These months have been very transformational for me, inspiring, and actually not really hard. No, but just beautiful because I have learned a lot. And I have always felt being encouraged, being supported by you, by your fantastic team. And, just the awareness that I could just go to you with anything, It was just, oh, I always stood in awe because, there were situations I just realized later on that well, something I asked you was very elementary, but actually it was my first book, and you never ever said anything against it, or you always took it with such dignity and respect. Respect is the right word, I guess, toward me. So thank you so much, because you're a fantastic coach and friend. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Hannah. And that's how I feel about you as well. You were always so gracious and caring, and you wrote me such a beautiful review. And that's my heart. My heart's to uplift everyone, and doing this interview with you to uplift you on this stage that God has given me. And I just love to serve people. I love coaching. I love to be able to some of those questions, you and other people have asked have been pretty curly. And I've had to pray about it and talk to Stephanie because, this is her sixth book. And, this is just my third book. But how blessed are we? And, you know, I just love to support people. I love to support their creativity. I love to support everybody in this journey. And it's such a blessing that we're at the other end of it. And really, it's just the beginning, too, Hannah. It's just the beginning that, we're going to do our launch parties, and we're doing our launch parties, and we can do autograph copies, and we'll have copies for ourselves as well. It's a real privilege to hold your book in your hand. And, tonight, I'm going out and I've had someone who's asked to buy the book as well, and I get to autograph it and give it to them. And that's a privilege with my Just Say No book. And, and soon I'll have my Artist Haven book in my hand as well. And when you all see this, I would have had it for a while. But, we're recording this and it's not all live, and it's been a journey. And I love the way Hannah has just graciously prayed and blessed me. She's blessed my heart with her encouragement. So, Hannah, what are the plans that you want to do with your story and our book? Tell my audience.
I'm so pleased that more and more people are asking me when they can hold the paperback or hardcover book in their hands. And I'm so pleased, because just not just my friends in all the world, but also day by day there are coming more and more friendship requests on Facebook from unknown people. And I'm just amazed, because that's quite obvious that people somehow got to know about me in the world, and they want to read the book. They also ask me for the book. So it's such a joy.
Oh, that's exciting, Hannah. And that's been my heart. My heart is to uplift all of my authors. It's to let you all, be on that platform that God gave me. Because, yes, I've worked hard, and the amount of hours I've been up early mornings and late nights, because we're all in different parts of the world. And, time and effort and everything that we have to put into it, you've just been there graciously and supporting me in everything that I've been doing. So I feel so blessed that you've been so blessed by it. So, Hannah, do you want to share with my audience a little bit about what you do with your business and the things that you offer people as well?
Well, because I'm a certified art therapist, I actually am focused on art therapy in coaching, in mentoring. Well, actually, I offer also one-on-one consulting sessions. Well, I offer counseling, and I just love my job. I love my job, and because I have been involved in inner healing ministry for years, it's such a blessing that I very often use a word of knowledge for my clients. during the sessions. And, it's such a precious gift from the Lord that the Holy Spirit actually speaks to us. And, we can facilitate the process of transformation of the people, so even of the clients. And sometimes I share that with the clients openly, sometimes not. And I feel quite obviously when it's good, when it's okay to leave it aside or a secret. And art itself is such a powerful tool for transformation, for healing. And because I am not only a wholeness coach, just as you mentioned, it's very important for me. And I'm persuaded that, psychosomatic diseases or depressions, anxieties, they are so much related
Yes.
to the wholeness, to the whole being. I am also uh, a healing arts coach and mentor. And, to be a healing arts coach and mentor, it's something very related to both, to art therapy itself and to the wholeness. And well, all seems to me important in the process. And because I help women, especially women, from emotional pain to freedom
Yes.
and joy,
Yes.
to unlock their hidden potential that lies very often just in the wounds.
Yeah.
It's something as a mystery for me very often to see happening in front of my eyes. So I must say that for the future, I just want to see more and more people transformed.
Absolutely, Hannah. And I remember now when we first did our interview, I've done 30 years plus of bringing women into my home, going into their homes, ministering to them. And that's my biggest heart, women and mother children. But, I think as a creative, that God's really honed me in on that as well because when we use our gifts, when we use our talents, when we express who we are uniquely, and for me it's doing my sewing or doing some cooking, or my husband and I make frames for our house, and there's so many different facets of our lives being an artist, Stan. And I love to get out, sit in the sun and draw, and I like to get some a bottle and an apple and some fruit, and just sit and draw that, and it just brings so much freedom. And I know, one of the things that we talk about in our book, that subject, that we can get stuck in those places. And when we allow that healing to come, there's so much more freedom in who we are. And that was the reason why I wanted to do this book. When I became, wrote my book and became an international best-selling author last March, I started to, friend people and look for creatives online, and just started to really realize that, those two things line up. They line up, that, wholeness comes when we let go of things, and when we use our gifts, and when we use our artistic things, that how God made us to be. And and I that's the thing that I love, that all of my authors, that all of their stories line up to me, and different places in my life that I've gone through as well. So it's just been such an amazing journey that we've been walking on together, Hannah, and I don't think it stops. I think that, we've now created this lifelong commitment as well as bond, where that, we'll be referring other people to each other, we'll be sharing our book together, and we'll be encouraging each other. Because, especially too as a coach, my heart is to always see all of my women and my authors shine and bloom. And I love that that is happening. And I love that, 12 months later, your dream of sharing your story is on Amazon. And how amazing is that? That, that's come to pass. And it's come with hard work, it's come with commitment. Hannah spent a lot of time on her chapter. She spent a lot of time writing and then cutting it back and submitting it to me and asking for my advice. And she always took what I said to her with so much love and grace. And now, folks, her story is amazing. It's encouraging, it's uplifting, it's authentic. And I love too that it just flows in our book, There's not a book out there that each chapter flows into each other. And that, we're just so blessed that we can do this, that we can connect. I'm here in Australia, Hannah's in Europe, we've got people in Canada, the USA, other people from Australia and New Zealand. We're all over the world. And because of this amazing internet, that we've connected with each other. And I just feel so incredibly blessed to have Hannah on my team, to have been able to coach her, had the privilege to help her write, had the privilege to help her, become an international best-selling author. And that's always been my heart, to uplift everybody up. So, Hannah, would you like to share with everyone how they can connect with you? I know that you have a website in the process, and maybe on Facebook. Would you like to, people that they can friend you if they're interested in doing some coaching with you as well?
Yes, sure. Yes, so I'm Hana Sarah, 17. So you can Google me up and you can join me on Facebook. I'll be very happy. I also have 2 private groups. One is about art and inner healing, and the other is actually my new academy. And it's all about abundance. So you can ask me more. It's a private group, so you can ask me more if you're interested.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Hannah. And folks, I'm just so thrilled. I'm so thrilled that Hannah joined with me and our team. I'm thrilled that our book is out there for you to purchase. I'm thrilled that dreams are coming true, and that, I had this dream and this baby that grew in me, and now it's been birthed, and now we're going to care for it, and we're going to love it, and we're going to continue to share it. And I know that's Hannah's heart. So, folks, thank you so much again for tuning into another episode of The Thriving Woman. And I'll see you again in another episode.